What's like the highest amount you spend on jewelry? If you don't want to tell us, you don't want to tell us, but I have to ask.
I'm going one item or
Yes.
Like the highest amount.
at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like 500,000.
Oh my God. 500K. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah. But a good piece of jewelry.
Yeah,
I get it.
I hope so.
Yeah,
Don't
what
use
is
it.
It's like a chain.
It's like a
One chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it made in London. I actually paid it in pounds, but equivalent it was like almost
Yes.
$500,000. But
Yeah.
it's a nice, because my album Timeless was very, very dear to me. It was very significant in my comeback and everything. So they made like a timeless piece for the album.
Yeah.
And it's like a hourglass. It spins and the diamonds in the hourglass.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to wait on this show.
Permit me to speak about some of the Nigerian songs nominated at the 2024 Grammy, and that is quite interesting to an extent. A lot of people are now responding to that. We got Nigerians dominating the list of the African categories of the Grammy 2024, and now some people are not sitting that well and saying that, you know what, Nigerians are braggadocious, they are loud, they are this, they are that, but based on what we are seeing, statistics, based on report right now, based on what we can see, I think Nigerians have taken the game of entertainment in Africa, and for some times now it's going to last in their hands. That is something I keep saying about all of this. But we're going to talk about these songs. Nigeria has got about 8 nominations at the Grammy categories for Afrobeat and the rest, and that is really interesting and massive at the time. I'm going to start from number 8 down to number 1 so that you will get to understand, but it's not in a particular order. These guys are really good at what they are doing. The likes of Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, the likes of Ashake, and a lot of others, Loji, Tems. These guys are really massive to an extent. That is something I need to share with you guys. Born in the Wild, Best Global Music Album from Tems. That is something interesting at the time. A lot of people can really attest to that Tems, has great impact and influence when it comes to music culture in Africa. That is something I got to understand, because when you talk about international audience, Tems has it to an extent based on her style and her unique voice in the music industry. What is your own take about that? We have Love Me Jeje from Tems. That is in the category of Best African Music Performer. That is actually interesting to an extent. I need your loving. That category is being dominated by Africans, and a lot of people can really attest to that based on the nomination list released by Grammy Academy. What is your own take about that? MMS, that is from Ashake featuring a person of Wizkid in Best African Music Performer category alongside Tems. That is actually interesting and massive at the time. A lot of people are now responding to that, but some people are bringing up some issues and saying that Lungu Boy by Ashake should have been nominated into a particular category as a person of Rema. That is what is interesting about it, into the global album category, and that is really something we need to look at sometimes, because I need to come out with a review of it and with a particular information on it in one of my videos these days. Burning by Tems is in Best R&B Songs. That is really massive to an extent. That is a different category right now, and Tems will be competing with a lot of people around the globe. That is to show you that the quality of songs by Tems is really, really massive and recognized globally to an extent. Based on the global audience she has really gotten for herself. That is something I got to understand about that. It was all a dream, just a new girl on the scene. Got your face on magazines. How it feels. Higher by Burna Boy into a particular category, Best African music performance category, that is actually massive to an extent. A lot of people are saying that Burna Boy deserves a spot on that. That is something interesting. But if you have something to say about it, why don't you put that in the comment section so that we can have a take at what you feel. Burna Boy has really done well in 2024, shutting down arenas around the globe and became the first African artist to really shut down 80,000 capacity stadium twice in the UK. That is actually massive for Burna Boy. As my dreadlocks are longer. Guys, we got something from Yemi Alade called Tomorrow, and he's being recognized or nominated into Best African Music Performance category. That is the first time of Yemi Alade getting a Grammy nomination. It is really interesting and massive for Yemi Alade, and it's been a celebration so far for Yemi Alade. Recently, she did call out a particular radio station for their gimmicks play around her career and the rest for not playing her songs on air, deleting that. That is quite disturbing to an extent. What is your own take about that? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section so that you can have a take on what you feel. In my mind, I am looking for the melody. Sensational, Chris Brown featuring Davido and Logi. A lot of people are finding this as a controversial one into Best African Music Performance 2024 at the Grammys. What is your own take about this? What do you feel about that? Do you have to be African before you can really go into this category? We have two African artists in that particular song, so we cannot really judge that based on being African before you can join that category. We got His by Rema, an album by Rema, into Global Music Album. That is really one of the massive one, Best Global Music Album of the Year. That is actually massive to an extent and big to an extent. But a lot of people are now trying to raise the issue. When Rema did his last album, which really performed very well, he didn't get a Grammy nomination. But right now, with this particular album, I think Rema is on his way up. Davido has come out to say, you know what, Wizkid actually pushed me to doing music, African music, especially, when I listen to music, I got Wizkid on my mind because at the time he was listening to, Wizkid, saw the doings of Wizkid, and then got pushed into music, and now Davido is rivaling Wizkid. That is something, I said this at a particular interview long ago, and a lot of people are not quick to record this thing. To an extent, Davido has said severally that, he has always looked up to Wizkid in the past. But right now, this kind of competition, rivalry between Davido and Wizkid is not needed at a time like this. That is something I kind of understand by this whole thing. And let's listen to Davido and get to understand the big story around it.
Yeah. Like even then, Wizkid was like young. He was really young, but like I remember like him just coming up in the game. So the game was coming up, and I remember that moment. I was like, I want to do Nigerian music. Yeah. I want to get in on this early. Yeah. Like I can already tell, like it's gonna be.
Now, what is your own take about all of this? I want you to put your own comment in the comment section so that you can have a glimpse at what you feel. Guys, this is to a lot of people, international students, and some of our persons in America that are back in the country right now for Dirty December. Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated in January 2025, and now most of the schools in US, they are saying that you got to be back in the country before Donald Trump. That is quite disturbing at the time. Before Donald Trump as Nigeria back to the list of banned countries, in US. That is quite disturbing, and a lot of people are really talking about that. And that it's going to be another different, immigration policy and the rest for, Nigeria and for, US. That is something I got to understand because Donald Trump is going to review a lot of things, and we are really hoping that Nigeria does not get into the blacklist list of Donald Trump. That is what a lot of people are now talking about, and this is quite interesting to an extent. And if you are in Nigeria for 30 December, you should do it hastily, because Donald Trump not a play this time around. Oh. And a lot of people are now getting agitated, people fighting for visas, to US and all those kind of other countries, American countries. But I think it's quite disturbing to an extent, and we are hoping for the best. And adding Nigeria to the black ban list is quite going to affect a lot of things, even our trade relationship with the US. And then we have a lot of our brothers and sisters in the US, and these guys are really contributing to the growth of US, in terms of their professional lives, in terms of their tax payments and the rest. I think Donald Trump needs to reconsider a lot of things. That is something I'm really talking about right now, and some people are being warned on this. Before we jump off, I want to say thank you guys for watching our videos, and thank you for the love so far. If you are new here, you can click the subscribe button below, the bell notification icon to always get notifications each time we upload our videos. I love you guys. Keep supporting Afrobeat blog across social media platforms. Be a part of our daily conversation. Join our online conversation and join in the comment section, because we are continuously collecting feedbacks from you guys.